It's what's called Braveheart N5. Yeah, the Dundee streets, the North Bank lights, brave at the M5 brings the fight. Red and white running deep in his veins, every match day carries the flames. Passion and might, he never back down, cheering for Arsenal all over town. From Highbury goes to Emirates Wall, he lives every goal, every tap, every score. Dundee grit, Scottish pride, standing tall with the gunners by his side, chants on his lips, scarf in the air, hearts so fearless no one can prepare. Legendaries watches, history knows, Bergkamp, Henry, rate his love all he goes. The brave heart of the M5, the fans delight. In the stands he's a storm, a beacon of light. Red and white forever, no one can deny. The spirit of the M5 will never die.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Hot Topics. And man, do we have some hot topics. First of all, welcome to In the North Bank. Please like, subscribe. The guys are putting out amazing content at the moment. There's almost shows every single night this week. The guys are really doing overtime on this. So yeah, let's dive into this week's hot topic. And what would this week's hot topic be? How pragmatic is Mikel Arteta? And I think the conversation needs to be had. Now, before I get into this, I'm not here to sweat Mikel Arteta, not one slight bit. This is constructive criticism of my manager. This is constructive criticism. If you watch any of the shows that I've done previous, I've bigged up the Cronkies and said how they finally stepped up. They've been able to get the squad that we've all been dreaming of getting. And now we just need to go over the line. And there can't be excuses for not getting over the line now, regardless of what Liverpool spent or other teams have spent. We have waited to get to this point. And so for me, first and foremost, Arteta, you've done an amazing job to get us to this point, and I'm grateful. I rate him as a manager. I want to succeed with Arteta. I want us to win trophies with Arteta. However, he ain't getting away with that yesterday, not in the slightest. So to get straight into it, I'm going to go to the lineup. And here we are. Now, I was excited before the game. I'm sitting there, I've got my thinking hat on, Arsenal glasses on. I'm thinking 5-0 Arsenal. We absolutely demolished them at the Emirates this time last season. Our squad's got better. I don't think they've improved massively. We have. So we had options all over the park. So for me, I thought, yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'll really go for it. And that'll be it. So the team lineup's come out, and I'm deflated. I'm actually angry. I'm angry before the game has even kicked off. I see this lineup, and I'm raging. I'm thinking we're not winning this game today. We are not winning this game today. So let's go through it. We've got Ray in goal. You would expect that. Timber, 100%. Saliba, I kind of felt, yes, he's our Rolls Royce defender. However, I really do want to touch on this, 2 points on Saliba. But Mascara had done absolutely nothing wrong in the games that he played. And Saliba has not had any minutes since coming back from his injury. So that annoyed me. It annoyed me that Saliba walked straight back in the side, not knowing how fit he actually was, and then that Mascara, who had not put a foot wrong in any of the minutes that he's had on the park while Saliba's been out, is just dropped from the side completely. So that's it. But the 2 points on Saliba I want to make. Saliba was, first and foremost, not at fault for that goal in any shape or form. If you actually look at the Man City goal, Reinders is coming through, and he's got 2 players either side, in Doku and Haaland. So there's 3 possibilities that could happen here. Reinders could take a shot, he could slide in Doku, or he could slide in Haaland. Now, Saliba could only cover one of these places. So Saliba's positioning, for me, was absolutely 100%. I was screaming at the TV like, Saliba, Haaland. And sure enough, the ball went there. If Saliba had maybe more minutes in his legs, would he have caught to Haaland? You'll never know. However, it was not Saliba's fault for that goal. My man, Gabriel, he was caught out of position, and that's what led to the goal. So it's absolutely nothing to do with Saliba. Calafiori, he scored a cracker against Man City away. I think that was last season. Absolute cracking goal. Again, MLS, I really do like having him there, but Calafiori, decent pick. I'm not disappointed. Then we come into midfield. Now I've got Mourinho. Mourinho, I like him as a player, and he stepped up for Arsenal in multiple times. Now, if we had went for an Ethan, Zubi, and then Mourinho, it wouldn't have bothered me too much. If we had went for Zubimendi, Rice, Ethan, I think I would have been delighted and I would have been happy. That's the midfield I would have picked. Ethan's lost his place again. What's Ethan done wrong? He was inside. He played extremely well against Nottingham Forest. I thought that was the best option. We could have put Eze there. As well. So we had options. However, we decided to go defensively. And I'm not having the argument that this was not a defensive lineup. It was 100% a defensive lineup. So then we move on to the front line. Madueke, they're happy with him. He was playing brilliant. Saka's on the bench, good to see. Gyökeres, and then I'm looking at Trossard. Why is Trossard in the side? Someone explain to me why Trossard's in the side. Now, I'm getting things through to me that he's had two assists and one goal. Well, my question back to you then is, where did he get the 2 assists and 1 goal from this season? It was from the bench. He's an impact player. We had 3 options for that left wing yesterday. 3 options for that left wing yesterday. We could have played Martinelli, Eze, or obviously Trossard. Who's the slowest out of the 3 of them? Who brings the least amount of pace out of the 3 of them? Who never performs when he starts? Is Trossard. Why was he on the pitch? Honestly, why a game of this magnitude was Trossard on the pitch? And honestly, that really massively infuriated me. Then we go into the game. And Arsenal find themselves, I've explained to Saliba, not Saliba's fault, Haaland goal. 9 minutes into a game, when you're defensively set up, bang, Arsenal go 1-0 down. Man City go into a low block. At that point, and I've said this all summer, I think Gyökeres is an absolute bagsman. I really do. But unless Arteta changes his style of play and gets that guy fed and gets him space, we ain't going to see the best of Gyökeres at Arsenal. So I don't know why we bought a Gyökeres into the football club when we face so many low blocks and we won't get the space. I don't understand it. So second they got their goal yesterday, you knew that Gyökeres would not kick the ball the rest of the game. We knew that he would not do that. We are honestly harming this guy's career right now. Harming it. Arteta needs to change his style of play to get the best out of him. But it is what it is. Then we go to half-time. And Arteta realises he makes a mistake. So fair play. He makes 2 substitutions. Madueke comes off. I was a bit angry at that at the time as well. I was like, why are you taking him off? I thought he was decent. He's probably our only threat going forward. But it turns out it was an injury and it was enforced. So fair play. And Mourinho comes off. So then we go with Eze and we go with Saka. I'm not saying Saka should have started. Madueke definitely starts, but for me, Eze should have started instead of Mourinho. But Arteta's realised that at this point. He's realised that at this point. And so he's made the changes. And we'll go into the second half, and it's the same stuff over and over again. Man City are defending. I'm going to show you something in a second, and it's actually I'll actually do it now. Match starts. I've just went off the BBC with this. Now, what this does is match momentum, and it's team with the most threat. So you see in the opening period, it's really Man City. Arsenal are threatening here, but Man City catch us on a counter. The exact type of thing that jockeys would be fantastic at if we could counter attack. But Man City get their goal. Then it's Arsenal for a few minutes, bit of City, then Arsenal, then massively Arsenal, a little bit of City, and then we get to half time. But you can see at the back end of the half, it was all Arsenal. City are just camping in, not caring what's going on, even in the slightest. Going to the second half, we make the changes and we are dominant. Small bit for City, we are absolutely dominant, but we are doing nothing at all. So then we get to the 80th minute, and in 80 minutes, Arteta goes for it and really throws the dice and takes Timber off and puts on Martinelli. 80 minutes. This is old Arteta. This is Arteta of previous seasons, leaving his substitutes to last. His next substitute is in 84 minutes. Trossard comes off, Ethan comes on. Because someone explain to me why Trossard has lasted 84 minutes in that game. Anyone at all, please leave a comment. I'll be sure to reply back to it. Then you can see we're dominating. 90 plus 3 minutes. Martinelli scores his goal. Fantastic. He's on the pitch for 13 minutes and he gets his goal. Now, two things happen at this point. and again, I'm annoyed. One, I did say at the time, Arteta, you've got away with one there. Just before the celebrate to go, but it was like, Arteta, you've got away with one there. Then I realised that Martinelli's doing an e-slide in at the corner. For me, Martinelli should be fined for that. We're at home playing Manchester City, where we should be winning the game if we've any aspirations of winning the Premier League, and we're going into the corner doing these slides when it's only 1-1. Now, what actually happened at that point, if I could quickly stop that. What happened at this point? I want to show you this. It's quite interesting. This is Rory Talks Football. I'm just going to quickly play this for you guys. Only 10 seconds. What he's doing. He's got the mentality to grab the ball, not celebrate, and run back to the halfway line. That's exactly what I want to see. That is everything that I want to see. I want to see that mentality in my players. That you want to go on now and you want to go and win this game of football because you see that there's a bigger picture, that we're at home, and if we've any aspirations of not catching Liverpool, I'm not worried that we're 5 points behind. We're 5 games into a season. But we need to get every point that we can because we know this is going to be difficult. And Zubimendi shows the mentality of the only Arsenal player, because there was Arsenal players running over to Martinelli to congratulate him on the goal. But Zubimendi was running into that goal to grab that ball and put it back on the halfway line to say, City, we're not finished yet. We're coming for you. We're about to try and win this. And it's a great mentality. But then I need to go back and show you this. What happens next? What does Arteta do next? So we see the goal. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to have to come up. Go back up. I do apologise. And if I come back up to, wait a minute, match stats, table view, it's not table view, sorry, lineups, it was lineups, I do apologise for that. We come back and then we have a look. 98 minutes, Martin Zubimendi gets taken off the pitch and we chuck on a central defender to shut up shop and stop moving forward. He'd given up, want to shop, and that was it. Now we come back to the action area where the most threat was. Look what happens. Final minutes are all City. The final minutes are all City. Because Arteta has taken off one of our defensive midfielders who can score goals. We saw that against Nottingham Forest, and decided to put on a central defender. So that is where a large majority of Arsenal fans' frustration came from yesterday. Mine's included. I wanted to do this podcast last night and I couldn't because it would have been a run. I would have been swearing in this. I was so angry. I was so triggered yesterday by Arteta and the way that he went about it. Now, I have said on numerous occasions that some of the best football I have seen was the 23-24 season when we were just unbelievable. And if you go back and you watch the podcast, I think it was 23-24. I hope we've got that the right way around. Or was it 22-23? But both of them actually, there was periods within the seasons where we were absolutely phenomenal and played some unbelievable football, and we were just wiping teams off the park. And I'm thinking, last season, fair play, there was injuries, Arteta, and we didn't have the squad in. And I could add context to like the things that you were doing. And I appreciated you getting me to the semi-finals of the Champions League. I don't blame you for tactics or anything why we didn't get to the final. I thought we should have got to the final, but I didn't blame you for any of that because context was the number of injuries, etc., that were there. But everyone should be subject to criticism. And right now, Arteta deserves every single bit of criticism that I'm giving him. And I would say way over 50% of the Arsenal fan base. It's not like that 10, 15, 20% that just don't like Arteta and want him sacked. It's jumped massively. People are really angry at how pragmatic he has been. Now, if you watch previous shows that I've done, even before yesterday's game, I done one with Des that was Gunnar to Gunnar. And I asked Des the question, do you think that Arteta has a PTSD, I cannot say that, of like losing to City and Liverpool? It's like just the way that he sets up. And Des didn't think that he has. But when I watched yesterday, he set up not to lose. He set his team up not to lose. And we nearly did. We nearly did. The finish from Martinelli was unbelievable. Absolutely done on the mat. It was a brilliant finish. But he has to change up his tactics. We should have went for City yesterday. That's not the best Man City side. That isn't even close to the best Man City side. Is this the best Arsenal squad since we've had, since arguably in the Emirates area? I think it is. I personally think it is. I think that there's more depth in this squad right now than there's ever been. So for me, Arteta doesn't have a leg to stand on here. He deserves every single bit of criticism that most Arsenal fans are giving him at this moment in time. He really does. And yeah, I don't want this to be a rant, so I don't want him sacked either, guys. We're 5 games into a campaign. I still want to win under this manager. I want him to change and never put me through that again. He done it against Liverpool. He never learned. He done it against City. I hope he learns this time and never ever pulls anything like that out again. I believe in the squad and I believe in these players. Last week, I was down for Nottingham Forest and we were unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Every player on that pitch. So, yep, I'm still hurting. I'm still angry today. The result was horrible. We should have took 3 points. In the end, I think we were very lucky to get 1 point, if I'm being honest. But that for me comes down to the manager. It does not come down to any of the players. The selections, it's down to him. He put that team out, he set them up, he done that. And this is on him. And the one thing I will say is well done, Arteta, for realising at half time and changing it. However, your substitutions at the end were far too late. We should have went on to win this game. So, guys, if you disagree with me, please leave your comments in. If you think this is fair comment, leave your comments in. If you think I've went too easy on Arteta, again, leave your comments in. But we'll get back to you. There's a lot of content coming up this week. I think Des and Richard are recording like 3 shows tomorrow. Wednesday, I think there's a watch along. Thursday or Friday, there's a the women's show with Ange and Richard and the gang. On the weekend, it'll be back to the watch along against Newcastle again. So yeah, there's a fair bit of content. There could possibly be a big Sunday show. We couldn't do the big Sunday show yesterday because it clashed with the watch along in the time the game was. I don't know if someone's doing one tomorrow, but yeah, there's almost content every single day, guys. So please do hit the like, hit subscribe. There's going to be a lot more content. I'll have at least one more Gunner to Gunner coming out at some point this week. I'm not sure when I'm recording it yet, but once I get it recorded, that'll drop as well. So until the next one, back behind the boys, get behind the manager, we'll go to Newcastle and hopefully we'll pick up the 3 points. I'm out of here. Thank you, guys.